I have built over 777 websites on WordPress. I know it inside out, and I've taught it, I've defended it, and I still use it today. So when I started telling most of my clients to move away from it, I had to really sit with that and think about why I was making that recommendation. This video is that honest answer. And I want to be upfront here. Most content on this topic is made by people trying to sell you one platform or another. I still build on WordPress when it's the right call. But here's the thing, after building 777 websites, I've realized that most people are building on the wrong platform and they don't even know it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one is right for you and why. Okay, so first of all, who the hell am I and why should you listen to my opinion? I've built over 777 websites in WordPress alone. Many of my clients are multiple 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs, and I've been doing this for more than 20 years. So I'm not some poor on the internet or some bro marketer trying to give you an opinion. I'm really in the trenches. I've run this business for well over a decade specifically. So I genuinely love the process. I genuinely love platforms. I genuinely love web design. I love design in general. So I'm not here to trash one or the other. I'm just here to give you my honest opinion. And here it goes. Rewind 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and I was honestly the WordPress girl. Known for my shamelessly quick turnaround time on WordPress developments, and I build websites coming out of my ears in a day, hence the 777 plus websites number. I absolutely love WordPress. I have loved it from day one. I have been an early adopter of everything WordPress. So when it comes to deciding where to build your website and what's best for you to build your website on, it's, in my opinion, really important to get the base right, to start building on the correct base, because sometimes you build a lot of stuff on one platform, to move it down the line can be a little bit of a mission. And I know a lot of people, when they're just starting out, they think, oh, I'll just build a quick website on Canva or Wix or whatever the case is. Trust me, you end up building more than you know once you get started. And then suddenly you've got a whole lot of stuff that you need to migrate or pay someone to rebuild on the right platform. So it's really good to make the right decision in the beginning to save yourself having to redo and repay for stuff later. So who do I think genuinely needs to be building their websites on WordPress? For me, there's only a handful of businesses that I would recommend need WordPress. And these are businesses that need what we would call custom post types. So what is that? That sounds really techie, but in plain language, this is, think of it like database-driven design. To give you a few examples, like my client Beach Travel over here, they sell travel packages on resorts. And so they have a series of resorts, and those resorts are what we would call custom post types. So each of these resorts is set up as a custom post type with all this info in the database, and that information gets populated through to the design, which is separate. And that prevents you from, for example, having to, like, if you decide to change a look and feel of your website or whatever, that you have to go and now change 550 different resort pages to your new design. Okay, you don't want to be doing that. Similarly, this is another travel-based business, Tonga, and things like their rooms are a good example. So again, some kind of lodge or whatever, where they have different room options, and each room that you go into, again, has a very specific layout and design. And that design is populated from a database again. And the design layer, let's say, is separate to the database layer. Another example would be some certain e-commerce stores. This is another client of mine, but especially e-commerce stores where your client has very specific layout requirements. They want it to look a very particular way. They have a very specific design ethic that they want. They want it pixel perfect here, there, etc. That's the kind of thing I would still do in WordPress. With the tools I use, I'm going to be able to create absolutely anything I need in WordPress. And the key differentiator here is that you or a team member is then updating the content, but in the back end, we would call it, you're not in the design tool designing it. It makes it really easy for people to add content to a stunningly designed website without them having to really know how to use a WordPress builder, be it Element or Beaver Builder, Cadence, whatever it is. They wouldn't need to have any of that skill knowledge because they're just entering some stuff in the back end of the database. And this is honestly the only place I would recommend still sticking with WordPress. So what's the problem with WordPress now? So what I realized pretty quickly is that my clients, they don't like to look after their own websites. Not necessarily that they don't like it, but let's face it, you should be spending your time better, right? You should be spending your time increasing the sales of your business, marketing your business, not tinkering around in a website, right? And the problem with WordPress, first of all, it needs regular updates. The thing with WordPress is it's an open source tool. The downside of an open source tool is that you have to maintain it, right? And the reality is most clients don't maintain their own websites very well, if at all. There's a lot of crap, frankly, that can happen if you don't maintain your website. For example, coming down with viruses or getting hacked or whatever, just things being out of date and then you can't log in, functionality breaks, and you get the dreaded white screen of death. If you've ever spent any time in WordPress, you know what that is. There's a myriad of things that can go wrong with your WordPress website if it's not being maintained correctly. Now, this is no problem for my clients who have care plans with me. But if you can't afford a care plan, then you are having to become a little WordPress mini expert yourself. Because trust me, decent care plan with anyone who's going to do a half decent job and going to be able to support you correctly is going to be in the region of what I charge for my care plans, which is almost $150 for the lowest entry-level care plan with me. So there's that burden. And there's that burden of not only, this open source cheap solution I thought I was getting where I could DIY stuff. Actually, there's all these costs involved that are adding up. The other thing that adds up is the cost of the plugins, because not all very good plugins are free. So if you want to do all these fancy things, generally you're going to go and add plugins. Most of these plugins, when we talk about plugin, we talk about extra functionality, involve annual fees, and your fees just start to escalate. So you need to become a bit of a mini WordPress expert. You need to either pay someone to look after your website, or you have to start updating it yourself. You have to pay for all these plugins. And then the final sort of straw, as it were, that breaks the camel's back, especially for a lot of new business people, is the frustration of having to connect your website with potentially other things, right? Let's say you are sending your email from MailChimp or ActiveCampaign or whatever the case is. You're doing your invoicing from Zoho Books. Your website pages are on WordPress. Let's say your online store isn't even on WordPress, it's on Shopify. And now you've got all these different things. They all have subscriptions. They're all costing you money. And it's a mission to get them to talk to each other. So there's a hidden cost, right, of the cheap, what we saw in the past as the cheap fee of WordPress. And the hidden cost comes in premium plugins, developer fees, and time, that every time something breaks. And most businesses using WordPress actually don't need to be using that or having any of that kind of complexity. They just need a website that looks bloody good, is able to convert the visitors to it, and connects to their calendar and payment systems. Like, this isn't a WordPress problem. This is a wrong tool for the job problem. And for typical face of brand businesses, like the kind of businesses I work with, coaches, photographers, health practitioners, designers, jewelers, consultants, they aren't running their businesses on infrastructure built for publishers and developers like WordPress is, right? They need to be running it on something that's built more for business. And so that is what led me down the road of exploring other all-in-one systems, which in the past I had never considered, because I just felt like the direction that WordPress was going, it wasn't serving all of my clients perfectly. For some of my clients, it's still the perfect match, but it wasn't serving all of my clients perfectly. So I went down a rabbit hole. I signed up for every all-in-one system, tried them all out, bombed it all into one mega mental spreadsheet for myself of pros and cons, and whittled this collection down until eventually deciding on HighLevel, which is what I ended up on. And then, of course, being who I am, I couldn't stop at just using HighLevel. I had to use that platform to create my own software version of it. And so I did that with heyCEOflow. And this is really what is the groundwork that I recommend most people start with today. This isn't just a website builder, because we don't want to go down that same road and make that same mistake of just looking for a website. This handles your websites, any funnel pages. It's your full CRM in the background. So it's tracking and maintaining everything to do with your customer. It's your payments. It's your invoicing. It's whatever automations you could want to set up that run in the back end. It's your online courses. It's an online group. It's one login. It's one subscription. It's one place. And it's all built on HighLevel, which as of a few months ago is now the #1 CRM in the world and powers hundreds of thousands of businesses. It's not new or experimental. It is rock solid. And it's what most clients actually need to run their businesses versus what they've been cobbling together. Okay, so let's recap where we are. So where does WordPress win? WordPress wins when you have very structured, data-driven content called custom posts. That's the term we would normally use, where it's supported by developers and you can have custom builds and you can have complex content filtering and searching, and You have maybe a publishing empire you want to set up, or if you've got a directory listing, a very specifically detailed e-commerce store, any kind of listing website, like listing tours, listing holidays, listing properties, listing something, that's going to be where WordPress wins. Hands down, I would still point you in the direction of WordPress, and I would more than happily build that for you. For everything else, heyCEOflow wins. Literally everyone else, service providers, personal brands, coaches, practitioners, creatives who want to look beautiful and actually convert, you all should be building on heyCEOflow. So the question you need to ask yourself really is, am I building a content database or a personal brand that needs to convert? In terms of the migration question, because I'm sure some of you may be watching this who have built your websites on different platforms like WordPress or Squarespace or Wix or any of the other things. And so let's chat about that. So first of all, should you migrate? Is it worth migrating? When should you migrate? When should you not migrate? So here's my rule of thumb, right? First of all, I look at what you've built. Now, if you've cobbled together or DIY'd a WordPress website, you have half a sales page, it doesn't really flow well, it's certainly not converting well, hell no, we should not be doing anything but rebuilding that from scratch. You really want to recondo your online life, right? You want to have a professional have a look at what you have online and go, hey, this is really gorgeously designed. Let's say you already paid a professional to design your website. It's built out in WordPress already, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It cost you an arm and 10 legs, and you don't want to lose all of that hard work. Then, hey, leave your web pages on WordPress, but connect everything else behind the scenes to heyCEOflow. Have a chatbot on your WordPress website capturing leads or booking people on appointments. Every form on the website is an embedded form from heyCEOflow. If you're selling anything, all the links go through to a checkout on heyCEOflow. Basically, your WordPress website then just becomes your very pretty shopfront window into your business. Leave it on WordPress if that's the case, or Wix or Squarespace. If it's beautifully designed, built for conversion, does the job beautifully, leave it. If your email system works beautifully for you and doesn't cost you an arm and a leg and is already integrated beautifully with all these things, by all means, leave it there. The number of clients I've had over the years where that is the case, very few. So my take on this is, first of all, there's many ways to skin a cat. Yes, you can burn it all down and rebuild from scratch. Hell, that's an option, not one I would recommend, but certainly you can do that. What I would typically recommend is you take your offers that are the, let's call it the most successful offers, the things that are selling most, are the most work for you to deliver. Maybe you're doing a lot of onboarding with them. It's your signature offer, whatever the case is. Take that one thing, build the entire flow out on heyCEOflow, have a sales page or a series of funnel pages, check out, have a CRM behind the scenes, have all the emails going from your heyCEOflow account, and build out one whole offer. And once that's done, to clone that and go and copy and paste your content in and swap some images for all your other offers is child's play. So that is the tack that most of my clients take, is if they're bringing on a new offer or they want to relaunch an existing offer, but they really want to simplify and automate the stuff that's happening in the background and the delivery, etc. We move that process onto heyCEOflow. Once that's done, it's a much easier job to migrate everything else over gradually with the help of myself, my team, or even a really reasonably priced VA, because at the end of the day, you have your template built, your structure is built out. So there's no one answer here. There's certainly a lot of options, but importing your email list is really simple. Warming up your email sending domain is really simple. All of these processes are really simple. And of course, I hold your hand through the whole process. Of course, you get a hell of a lot of other features and benefits in heyCEOflow. So besides unlimited websites, etc., you get unlimited calendars to set up scheduling. You can set up as many courses as you want, as many memberships as you want, as many online groups as you want. You have your email marketing and your campaigns, all sorts of automations that send emails that do different things based on different things. You have your full customer relationship handled in heyCEOflow. Just social media management, posting ahead of time, scheduling is amazing. I use that extensively in my business, or at least my assistant does. You can build your own communities. You can sell anything. You've got beautiful checkouts. You've got order bumps and one-click upsells. You've got an affiliate system. So your super fans can start selling your services for you. You've got two-way conversations with emails, DMs, SMSs, you name it. And it's all in one unified inbox. Like this for me is one of the most powerful things in HeyCEOflow, because all comms come into one place, regardless of where you're chatting to the person. So, in the past where you start talking to someone on socials, then you move it into the DMs on socials, and then you start emailing, and then finally they like commit and they book you for a service, and then they mention something and you're like, oh heck, where did we talk about this and what did we agree? Now you're going and squirreling through like your posts on socials and your DMs and your email. You're trying to find the conversation. No more of that shit, because on HeyCEOflow, everything is in one unified inbox. You see their Instagram messages and their emails all in one conversation thread. And if team members are talking to them, you can see that in the thread as well. So it's just so much simpler when everything is under one roof, as it were. So the long and the short of it is that HeyCEOflow is more than just websites. It's a whole online business infrastructure. It's a whole platform. And it's really built for businesses like yours, if you are a personal branded kind of business, to build on. That's really everything you need when you're building that kind of business, not just your website. You're not going to need to get 500 tech VAs on team to be wrangling 150 different pieces of software, and you're certainly not going to have all of the costs of that involved. So at the end of the day, I'm not getting paid to say any of this. I use both. You are welcome to use my services on WordPress or on HeyCEOflow or HighLevel. I will happily support you in either. I just want you to build on the right platform for your actual situation, because getting it wrong costs you more than just money. It costs you the time that you'll never get back of having to rebuild it or move it down the line. So that's where I am today, and you should look forward to more tutorials from me on HeyCEOflow. I'm looking forward to building some different sites for you and demoing how easy that is to do on HeyCEOflow, because one of the things I didn't mention earlier in this recording, which I'll give you a teaser to now, is that part of what I specifically built out in HeyCEOflow is customized, globally branded templates for you to use and template parts for you to use to drag in and build whatever kind of layout or style you could want to build. This is really incredibly powerful. It means you set your brand in one place. You have all these layouts that automatically pick up that branding. This is not by default the way things typically work on HighLevel, by the way. This took me a lot of time to set up, and it is absolutely key for me on how to be able to support you really quickly. It means that I can ship out different templates for different kinds of sales pages or funnel pages or whatever the case is to you really quickly. It'll automatically pull in your branding, and it is dead easy for you to then go and just swap out some images for yourself. And hey, presto, you have a gorgeously designed, pixel perfect web page, funnel page, whatever the hell page you're building, without you having to go through every single text, element, background, what, and set your brand colors. Because who the hell has time for that? Not me, and certainly not you. It's been awesome catching up. I am looking forward to putting more videos on my YouTube channel in future. Please go ahead and subscribe if you're new to my channel and you just discovered me through this video today. Please subscribe. So if you're a face of brand business, if you're a coach, photographer, practitioner, designer, doula, consultant, or anything like that, looking to run your online business more efficiently and effectively, if online business and all things automation speaks to you, this is going to be the place you need to be hanging out.